Welcome to Change Your Narrative. This is Kim.
What up? What up? This is Slam.
A lot has been going on since the last time we've been on air, Lamb.
Man, tell me about it, man. It's been a tough week, tough
Tough,
year.
tough week.
You know what I mean? Let's see if it's gonna get better.
Well, we can only hope, right?
That's all we can do. You know what I mean?
So last week, man, we started off the week with bad news.
Terrible news, actually. Not bad. Terrible. We lost a great, an icon, a Laker legend, man. The great Kobe Bryant, man.
Mamba.
The Black Mamba. We lost him in that helicopter accident. We lost 8 others, including his daughter. You know what I mean?
And two other kids too, man.
Kids, man.
Teenagers that were on that
I mean,
team
out
as
of all,
well,
I
man.
mean, it's sad to lose Kobe, but to lose kids, man, it just tears my heart. You know what I mean? And you can tell those little girls had a bright future ahead of them, man, and for them, their life to be cut short like that,
Sad.
it put things in perspective
Like for
me.
real.
You know what I mean? So let me know that, hey, tomorrow is not really promised, and I really got to get, what I got to get done in this life, man, because, man, it can be over at any time.
Yeah, I mean, man, the impact of losing Kobe, like I felt it immediately, and the world had the same exact reaction. And it's so funny because it's not like a feeling. I mean, everybody grieve when you lose someone, but to grieve Kobe without even knowing him felt a little weird. But man,
you think you don't know, you do know him.
It's been rough.
This man been playing basketball professionally since he was 17. He's been a professional more time in his life than any time else.
Yeah, he's been on our TV,
been on our screens for well over 20 years.
20 years, man.
You know what I mean? He has inspired a whole generation.
That's right.
Like I said, he's this generation's Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
believe it or not.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So this is one of the greats, man, and for him to go out like that, man, it just it put things in perspective about life, man, and we got to appreciate our loved ones and appreciate the people that means most to us, man, and you don't take things for granted. You know what I mean?
Do you have any Kobe memory?
Yeah, my greatest Kobe memory was, I've seen him a couple of times, around LA. I grew up in LA.
Yeah.
But you always remember the first time you actually meet somebody. And my first time seeing Kobe play was at the Forum, believe it or not.
It's way back.
Way back. This is like 96, 97.
Yeah.
He was a rookie.
Yep.
And,
straight out of high school.
Yeah, straight out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, he was playing against KG, Kevin Garnett. Yeah, at the Minnesota Timberwolves at the time, man. And I can remember just being fascinated to watch these two high school kids out there just putting that work. I mean, giving people that work. And, he wasn't all that good at the time.
Yeah.
Back
you
then,
could see that potential.
I could see the potential.
Then,
and back then, my guy was Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel with the Lakers. So I used to love Eddie Jones. I'm a big Eddie Jones fan. So I ain't gonna front. I wasn't really a Kobe Bryant fan when he first got in the league. A couple of years after that, I was heavy on Kobe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, my family, we're big Laker fans,
sure.
So we grew
Most
up.
Belizeans are though.
Yeah, we grew up watching Kobe, man.
Most Belizeans are.
News like this, just like you said, really put things into perspective. Oh yeah, right? You can't take no one or nothing for granted.
Your time, man. I mean, like I said, man, the most important things in life is your time and your happiness.
That's right.
And until people understand that, you can't put a price on those two things.
That's right.
And those things are, to me, means the most. It's not money and all the other stuff that people tend to cherish, man. What you cannot buy time and happiness to me, man.
That's right.
To me, those two things means the most. And as soon as that happened, like I said, I try to reach out to much of my homies and let them know, man, like, keep it moving, man, and stay positive,
Yeah. All right, so that's how we started last week. The week didn't get much better.
Nah.
We had a whole lot of other things going on. We have the coronavirus.
Man, a lot of things going on around the world, period. You know what I mean? Around the world, period. You got the coronavirus that went from 300 cases to now 20,000 cases, about 300 deaths.
Straight
and
up
there's no and
health
then
crisis
it's a health crisis.
Yeah.
And you already know the Chinese have no answers for it. They don't care about this stuff. You know what I mean? And people gotta understand we're so connected now that a crisis like that can hit us in any place, and a lot of us don't have the resources to deal with no epidemic like that. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So there's that. There's the whole impeachment trial going on here in the U.S.
Yeah, that's
impacting the world as well.
That's impacting the world, and it just shows where we at and how far we came. I mean, these people talking about their patriots and all this stuff, man. But basically, they're telling you now he's guilty. but because there's an election, we cannot uphold the Constitution, which is a joke. You know what I mean? And it's just heartbreaking. And don't worry, we will take care of that situation come November. Because again, we will do our best to try to remedy the situation.
Right.
But one of the other things that happened too in the world that people don't talk about much is Brexit. Britain,
that actually happened.
That actually happened.
Like
too.
that.
The separation happened.
That
yeah,
happened.
Britain is no longer part of the EU.
Part of the EU.
You
oh
know
wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember that, but you're right. That
happened too.
Actually,
you know what I'm saying?
That happened.
There's a lot of stuff going on worldwide that can impact, especially a small country like Belize. You know what I mean? Because again, we are relying on places like Britain for our protection and so on and so forth, but these places have a lot of
own stuff going on right now.
A lot of problems, man. A lot of problems.
Yeah, so there's that. Well, at least we had some highlight on Sunday. Shakira and J-Lo tore up the halftime for the Super Bowl. What did you think about the performance?
So you're not even going to talk about the game? You're just going straight to the performance?
Well, I figured you didn't want to talk about the game.
Man, listen,
considering your team lost and my team won.
Well, let's get it right, man. I had no bones in that. I had my team. My team wasn't in there. You know what I mean?
Right.
But being that I grew up in California, I was going to represent a California team, and I wanted the Niners to win.
Right.
But either way, man, you know what I mean? It was a good fought game, and it was close.
Yeah.
And the best team won. I had no, don't really care who actually won.
Yeah, it was a good game. I wanted the Mahomes to, a young black quarterback. Yeah, I think he's really good. So
I think he's pretty dope, man. Again, he's deserved the MVP. Yeah. And shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs and all their fans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But back to what you was trying to say, though.
What do you think about Miss 51-year-old J-Lo?
Man, first of all,
on that stage.
First of all, I want to say it just shows you the importance of representation.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying?
Of course, you're gonna go there.
I'm gonna go there because people tend to
overlook
pipe down
that
and overlook.
Yeah.
The importance is have representation of everybody.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And that night was just a highlight of what Latin America has to offer to the world. And looking at J-Lo,
I think it was more about that than anything else. Because
it was dope.
In reality, the songs were not.
The songs were dope,
old and
but there were messages
really
in there too, though.
But
there was messages in there too. There were political messages in there too. Because she started singing that "Born in the USA" and came up with a Puerto Rican flag. Basically, she's saying that Puerto Ricans are Americans too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was pretty dope, man. And that's what I'm saying. It's always for me when I see people of minority trying to, make their voices be heard, man. I'm inspired about it. And just to watch how they moved, and oh my God, for being 50 to be that active, man.
And Shakira, she hasn't lost a beat.
Nah, man, they're
hips don't lie,
dope,
man.
They're dope, man. They're both dope.
Yeah, so that brings us up to today, and here we are, right? So we're back for another episode. Everyone, remember, check out our website. changethenarrative.com. Don't forget to do that. Also, check us out on anywhere you get your podcast. You can do that. But now I want us to go ahead and jump into a little bit about what's happening in Belize. And let's talk about the topic we want to kind of focus on a little bit because it's been trending in Belize and there's been a lot of opinions and all over the place regarding this. But let's talk a little bit about this campaign finance situation with John Saldivar that's happening.
Mean, let's be honest. Before we even talk about John Saldivar, man, there was a situation that to me that's even worse than John Saldivar's situation.
The money
situation. We as Change the Narrative, again, we are just an independent voice. We're not politically affiliated. But I got questions, I got a couple of people that asked me about Belize. People that listen to the show, they heard us talk about, the politics and corruption and so on.
Right.
And they were just curious as to what kind of political system we have and is it anything similar to what we have here in the States and so on and so forth. So I just want to, because we cannot assume people know.
That's true. We can't assume Belizeans know.
Yeah. So I just want to take just some couple minutes just to explain the type of government that we run in Belize and how and the structure and how it works. Because again, people are curious and people are interested in Belize just based on hearing the show. So to start out with, to my American friends and so forth. I mean, we are Americans too, but our American friends, Belize is a democratic country, but beyond a democratic country, we are a republic, which is same as the United States.
Right.
So people might ask, so what is a republic? And what is the difference with a republic and a democratic, or just being democracy? You want to stay away from democracies because democracies is basically means the mob rule, and that's how autocrats come into power because of democracy. What we have in Belize is a republic, and that simply means that we have a constitution.
We're governed by
which governed by law.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And we have the three main branches of government: an executive, legislative, and judiciary. You know what I mean? So, and we do follow that pattern. The difference, however, the style of government is different. We are on a unitary system, while here in the States we're on a federal system.
Okay, you want to explain that a little bit?
The difference between a unitary system and a federal system is unitary system just basically means where it's just where the power lies.
Okay.
So within a unitary system, 90% of the power lies with the government itself. The prime minister and his cabinet. That's what 90%
sounds about right for Belize.
And the 10% lies among the city council and the mayors and different cities. So they have about 10% of the power, while 90% of or most of the decisions and power is lie with the party in power, which is at this time in our country is the UDP,
right?
The red shirts. All right. In regards to the federal system, it's 50-50 divide. So the states, each state carry about 50% of the power, and the federal government carry the 50 So that's the reason why when we have elections here, even though it's a national election, each states come up with their own rules. Each states have different caucuses and different ways of electing their government. They have times when they want to shut off voting times and so on and so forth. Right. That's the power of the states.
Got it.
Unfortunately,
we don't have that.
We don't have that. So for me personally, if I had a choice, I would choose the federal system. And I love how the system here in the United States is set up.
Okay.
And I think it doesn't get any better than this. You know what I mean? So
is that because of checks and balance? Because
of the checks and balances, and because it's a federal system. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So within the unitary system, however, go back to Belize, within the unitary system, because our slave masters, to keep it real, were the British. We were still under the Commonwealth. We inherited the parliamentary system. And within the parliamentary system, unlike the United States and our federal system, the parliamentary system has a governor general and an elected prime minister who's the head of the government. The difference with a governor general and a prime minister is the governor general is the head of state.
Right.
He's the head of state, even though he
answers to the queen.
He answers to the queen still. And the prime minister is the head of affairs within
the country.
That's that country.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm following you.
And so that's the difference for all my people who needed to know and wants to know. So we are a democracy. We are a republic. We have representative government. You know what I mean? And we have our three branches of government. We have a constitution as well. So it's a little bit different, but we're all the same.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So straight up.
That's good background.
Yeah.
All right, and now you which one do you want to jump into first? The John Saldivar situation, to flow into that, or do you want to get into what happened recently with the finance situation with the prime minister?
So the John Saldivar situation, I'm watching that kind of close, and I mean a lot of people would be mad to hear this too. You know what I mean? But they don't have a case with this man.
Yeah, we and I had this discussion.
Yeah, they don't have a case.
When we were listening to
and I understand that the opposition, their approach, because for them it's always political, and a lot of people don't understand the politics and the laws and so on and so forth. But you cannot prosecute. There's nothing to charge him with because Belize at this current time does not have campaign finance laws on their books.
Okay.
And a lot of the good deeds and whatever that they're talking about is within their own political, like as far as their checks and balance and accountability and so forth. It's within their own personal political parties. It's not nothing on the books or laws that states that this is how we should govern our political system and so forth.
Just to make sure I understand what you're saying, the situation with John Teldever is that he took a bribe.
Well, he allegedly, because we don't know the truth behind that.
Right, we haven't.
But just say hypothetically, that if that's the case,
you're saying that taking a bribe is not against the law.
It's unethical.
Right. Well, we know it's very unethical, but you're saying there's nothing.
However, because Belize doesn't have a campaign finance law, it's not a crime. And again, this is where the people has to be educated, and the people has to take responsibility for how the system's been working. And again, this particular situation is being used by every single member in cabinet on the blue shirt side and the red shirt side. So the blue shirts right now are all up in arms about the situation. But when they were in power, they did the same thing. They're probably still doing the same thing right now, because if you ask or you trying to trail where these people are getting their money to finance their campaigns, you will find out that a lot of it is not up to par. Exactly. Both sides. But the difference with this guy is that he got caught, which is sad. He got caught. And because he got caught and it's an election year, it's being blown up. But again, Belize doesn't have campaign finance laws. So legally, there's nothing you can do. I mean, people got mad with Dean Barr when he said he was going to throw him out of camp. He said that within his party. It has nothing to do with the law. If you notice, he didn't say anything about legally what he can do with this guy, because legally you can't do nothing with him because it's nothing on the books. He didn't break any law, so to speak.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I hate to tell the people the truth, but again, I'm not on anybody's side, but at the same time, on the side of the truth and the facts. You know what I mean?
So this is something that can change, though.
They can change
if they want to.
Both parties got, and I came up with 10 ways of how to change it and what they need to do in regards to campaign finance to stop stuff like this from happening. Okay. I will get into that a little bit, down the show.
Okay.
But in regards to what Dean Barr did, however, that is illegal.
So what he did is worse than what Teldever did, because that's actually a crime?
Breaking the law. Yes.
All right.
So again, people are not really in depth with politics and how government works. But what Dean Barr did is illegal, because what Dean Barr did was, instead of he going to the General Assembly, which is here like we come do in the States. In the States, we have the House of Representatives and our Senate. Well, in the States, the House of Representatives is responsible for our finance. Mm-hmm. So nothing gets by as far as money wise without the approval of the House.
Correct.
In Belize, it's similar but a little bit different. A party could suggest, how they're gonna divvy up the money. So if you want to say, well, education need $50 million and human research need $20 million and so on and so forth. But what will happen is everybody will come together and agree and vote on this is how much money is needed for those expenditures. You know what I'm saying?
In the party?
The cabinet. Everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody. So this is full disclosure for everybody to see.
Okay.
And everybody will vote on it that this money will be used for that, for X, Y, and Z. If it's for fixing roads,
and it's designated for those just particular for that. Areas.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what Dean Barr did, he completely bypassed all of that, lied about it. You know what I mean? Went ahead and approved projects, made other bills, passed other bills without
Congress,
without the General Assembly. Okay. Again, he was fully aware of it, so he's cognizant that he's doing all this. All right, and to me, the most messed up part about it is he has no accounting of where this money went. So there's no accounting of where the contracts went, how much money is actually being spent.
Oh wow!
So so they're saying it's 1.5 billion, but how much out of 1.5 billion is used for personal use or whatever use? Because he has no accounting for it. So he's acting as if he's an autocrat.
Right.
That's what autocrats do.
Did it on his own.
Did it on his own. People don't understand. It doesn't matter if he did it for some good or some bad.
That's not the point.
The point is we have a constitution. Just like we have a constitution and the state Belize has a constitution. And no man in that land is above the constitution. And whenever any one of us think we can negotiate or trying to water down the Constitution, we no longer have a republic or a democracy. We are then going into what is known as an autocrat. He's an autocrat.
So what you're saying is that's one of the reasons why this is so bad, because you can't open up that type of those floodgates per se.
Listen, man, the judge ruled what he did was, you hear what I said? Unconstitutional.
Right. But the same judge also said, hey, you can fix this by retroactively go back and change the law or some crap.
Because the way it's set up is who's going to arrest him? So the judge is trying to throw him a curveball, a softball there for him to go back.
Him a bone.
Yeah, a bone. Yeah, just trying to fix the situation retroactively. But at the end of the day, he still violated the law. And believe it or not, he was the one that amended the law to put teeth to it, saying that if you do the same very thing that he did, whereas bypassing the General Assembly and spending money without full approval, he's the one that implemented the rule that state that you will be charged by the law. He did that in 2010.
And he turned around
and violated his own rules. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. And because he put teeth on the amendment, it's a crime.
Right. So where do we go from here? Nothing's going to be done because he can retroactively
like I said, here in the States, if he was here in the States,
he'd be arrested.
He'll be impeached. I mean, he probably won't be arrested, but he'll be impeached. He'll be kicked out of office. But Belize, I don't think they have never done anything of that sort. And I'm not familiar with the Constitution as much. I don't know if they have an impeachment clause within their Constitution. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But under our laws, he would have been impeached. You know what I mean? Like straight up.
Oh boy.
You know what I'm saying? And he did. And again, this is the same stuff Sy Musa did too. Back when he was, you know what I mean? He was in power. So this is why I'm saying, like, we are desperate as Belizeans, because at the end of the day, we are not politically affiliated with any of these guys, but what we want to do is just educate our people and to give them options and let them know that we can fix these issues if you guys want to. You know what I mean? So I just came up with 10 quick things we can do right now to solve this whole campaign finance issue.
All right, let's do it.
The 10 things that I came up with, the first thing you want to do was set up a campaign finance committee, a commission.
All right.
And these people will be, again, independently selected. They're not going to be political affiliated in any particular party.
Mm-hmm.
And their job is to just be there for oversight.
Yep.
As this committee. The second thing, as far as just straight out rules, what you want to do. So what you want to do is, the first thing you want to do is to make any person that makes a contribution can only do it in their name. So you cannot contribute to a politician anonymously or in somebody else's name.
Okay.
Or you can't do it as a corporation.
Okay.
All right. The second thing you want to do is to ban all foreign nationals from donating within that's bribery and that's blackmail.
Okay.
When you start taking money from foreign nationals,
because they want something in return.
It's always a quid pro quo.
They have no kind of.
It's always a quid pro quo. Yeah. They're not doing it for free. They're doing it for someone to back in, and it can be used as blackmail.
Right.
So
that's right.
You need a ban taking any forms of gifts or finance from any foreign nationals.
Okay.
The third thing that I have is for all politicians need to submit their tax return prior to running for office.
We don't do that now?
No, they don't.
Yeah,
all politicians need to submit their tax return prior to running for office, and that will give you a good understanding of where these guys are coming from, and it will shed light on oversight and hold these guys accountable for any irregularities that happens during their tenure or while they serve the Belizean people.
Right.
All
okay.
Right? The other thing I want to highlight here is if you are, I have here, have that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, so the next thing that I have is you also got to pass laws, pass laws that would give the commission the ability to prosecute you.
Right. If you break.
Yeah. So you'll have an investigation, so the police can come and do the investigation, and you'll also give the committee and the DPP at this point the ability to prosecute these politicians. You know, I mean, if they're
accountability is needed,
if they're caught doing some erroneous or so forth. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's something we can do as well. And the next one that I have here, the next thing you got to do is families and friends. All family and friends, the most they can donate to your campaign is $500. Because what a lot of politicians will do, they will have a family or friend take bribe from foreign individuals or people we don't know.
Right.
Dark money, as we just call it, dark
money. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they're the ones that will make all the collection and dump it into your campaign.
Sure, that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
so we'll put a moratorium on these people, saying that the most they can donate is $500. Anything above that will be violating of these policies.
Right.
For the campaign itself, another one for the campaign, the campaign has to disclose where they're getting all the money from, where they get their money from, and how they're spending that money. Okay? So within that campaign, if you're using that money for personal use, you'll be charged. And that also leads to the last thing, what I would say is that leads to automatic disqualification.
Okay.
Because now you're violating the rules, you're cheating. See what I'm saying? You're not playing on the level playing field at this point.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what's going on, a lot of these guys, I believe as of today, they're taking a lot of dark money from wherever.
God knows who. I mean, that's the truth. We have no idea.
And it's being crossbreed. So you cross, some use it for their personal use, some use it for their campaign. We don't even know what's the real accounting when these guys receive this type of money.
Yeah. And that's crazy. Like when you asked me the other day, you were like, Kim, where do you think these politicians get money from for their campaigns?
Yeah.
You were like, the type of money that they're getting. Yeah. Where do you really think they're coming from? And it's something that we don't really think about often.
And people don't understand, man. These guys deal with hundreds of thousands of dollars. They deal with a lot of money. Hundreds of thousands of dollars every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's no real accounting on how this money is being dispersed.
Right. And these type of things, like these suggestions that you have, these are things that the people could advocate for to happen. Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how the change has to happen, and that's the point that we are trying to bring across.
I mean, just basic things right now. Like right now, I don't understand how is it that these guys can get campaign finance or collect money from a corporation or dark money, right? But there's no cap on how much money they can collect or send out, or receive. There's no cap on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So one person, a billionaire, could come there or, and just buy up Belize.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You see, and these are the problems that we have in our country. It feels like for a lot of things, it's kind of like just free for all.
It is free for all at this point. That's what it is.
And that is why the politicians kind of do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And the people just sit back and either don't know or feel like there's nothing that we can do. And that's why we're here, because we want to be that voice.
I think the thing about it, though, I think you're giving the people a cop-out. You know what I mean? I think the people at this point, it's like a cop-out for these folks, man. I think at certain point, we have to hold the people itself accountable. I mean, at the end of the day, man, a lot of people don't even know who their enemy is. They think their enemy is the opposition party, a person that vote differently from them, or a person who have a different views. But again, man, if you really take responsibility and understand what's really going on a larger scale, you realize that the same people who are smiling with you,
who's supposed to be representing
exactly
you and helping you, right?
Yeah, like I always say, who's your enemy really? The ones dying, or the ones killing you? Because if you can't tell the difference, you have a problem. And I think that is the issue here. A lot of people are smiling and being too passive when it comes to a situation that's going to benefit the country.
Right.
When indeed the mere fact that we've been talking about this comes to show you that we've been operating in a laissez-faire manner.
Right.
And both parties been operating like this for a very long time.
For a long time, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, man. I think we just have to remember there's strength in numbers, and we can make the difference. I
hope so.
We just gave you some ways that we can make that difference. For anybody who's listening, man, spread the word. Let's do something about what is happening, because we're at that point now where we have to start doing, or we're going to just keep on going down the same path that we're going, and it's not leading to a good place.
No, it's
at
not.
all.
It's not. And again, we need to fight for campaign finance laws if you want to change the situation. I just laid out 10 reasons. I will put it on the website as well. If you're interested in just seeing what you can do or don't know how it works. And once these rules and regulations are in place, it will stop a lot of the nonsense that's going on right now, and it will start to hold these politicians accountable for their actions that they've been getting away with for the last 30 years.
That's right. All right. Well, Lamb, this is our time.
Oh yeah.
We do it our way.
For sure.
All right. Let's hope the week gets better. Let's hope the year gets better.
For sure.
So until our next episode, we're signing off. This is Kim. Take care.
Peace. Yeah, I had a pause if I want to try to cut that.
It's okay though.
Yeah, it's cool, but I was not trying to cut like I did last time.
Okay. All right. How you feel? If you feel like your energy drain out,
yeah, because I get lost, man. You know what I'm saying?
I never want to stop it now. Like I was start to work on freaking 25 minutes into the show.
Yeah.
I feel like you got get out.
What I could do, I could just go back and do that then 10 now. That's what I could do.